Hey, what's up, family? Hey, how you doing? It's Keith, man. We got a special show today. Not only do we have a special show today, we have a special show for the next 6 weeks. My good friend Smiley McGinnis, the author of Life Stoplights, he's gonna come on and he's gonna do this live with me, man. I'm gonna bring Smiley on now.
Hey,
What's
good
up,
evening.
Smiley?
Hey, welcome. Ha ha ha. Let's do it.
What's up, man? Hey, you want to talk to the people a little bit before we get started? I'm gonna
Absolutely.
take care of
Absolutely.
things.
Like I just did a post a little bit ago and talking about how the struggle is real. And a lot of times struggle will whisper to you, play it safe, stay where you are. But safety often keeps you stuck. The red edition of Life Stoplights shows you how to face these fears and those barriers and break free. Don't let fear be louder than your future. It's one of my favorite quotes I wrote. Don't let fear be louder than your future. So,
You ready for a good show today?
oh, absolutely. This is good.
Okay, we're gonna let a few more people get in here. Okay, yeah, good. We got 102 right now, so that's good. Yeah, we're gonna let a few more people get in here. If you want to say anything, Smiley, go ahead. Hey, the floor is yours, man.
All right. Well, folks, while you're getting settled in, I understand we all hit walls. We hit fear. We hit doubt. We hit excuses, reasons, answers, and self-justifications. But walls aren't dead ends. They're just times, they're stoplights, red stoplights that we can help you teach you in the Life Stoplights Red Edition how to stop, reflect, and push through what's holding you back. So what's really stopping you? Some of the hardest questions I've asked people is this how you see yourself when you were a child, as a brother, uncle, cousin, sister, whatever your profession? Is this how you saw yourself? Or did you let limiting beliefs stop you from doing what you truly want to do? So if you still call it work, you're in the wrong place. It shouldn't be work. It should be passion. When I get writing, I can go 10, 12 hours without even going to the bathroom. I get so focused, I don't even think. I just get writing, and that's called passion. You lose track of time. You say time flies, you're the pilot.
There you go. Hey, how's your day going today, man?
Oh, every day's a great day. It's a blessing. Started off volunteering at the local police department, and then tried to cut some videos, and then found out I can't do them in uniform. Oops.
Okay.
Those won't be seen. So tried to do it from the Bearcat at the SWAT vehicle I was looking at. But yeah, no, it's been a productive day.
That's good. That's good. That's really good. That's really, really, really good. Really, really good, man. Man, so you was in the Navy, right?
Yes, sir.
Tell us about that a little bit.
Well, I was going to get into it a little bit. I think you had a question about the Navy.
Okay.
Alluded to it, but in short, Navy really opened me up, man. I my family's been known. I've got 6 brothers, and all of us grew after high school. So I went to boot camp right out of high school early, and I went in 138. 10 weeks later, they came down. My parents walked right past me. I was 172, and I grew 4 inches.
Wow.
So I had to buy more uniforms. I don't know if people realize that when you join the military, that first paycheck is very small because you have to pay for your uniforms. So anybody interested in joining the military, make sure you negotiate that ahead of time. So, but no, Navy.
Inviting some more people in. We're going to have a good show. So just trying to make sure we started a little early today. So I was just trying to make sure that, everybody I was inviting is coming in. I had some real special people I wanted to invite today, which everybody's special. We appreciate all you guys.
Yes.
Yeah, everybody's special. Yeah, let's get going. I'm really laid back. Smiley's gonna take this show over today. Okay, Smiley. I want to start off with the first question. I want to ask you, what are learned fears and how do they impact our daily life?
Well, that's a great question. Fears are not born with us, meaning when we're born, we have absolutely no fear. We acquire it over time from experiences, observations, social conditioning. I like to use the analogy, imagine a little child when they start walking. They're not afraid to walk anywhere. They'll do stairs, they'll do pools, and unfortunately, that's why you need the safety nets around them. They have no fear. And
That's
it's
true.
all learned from the parents, peers, or painful moments. They fall out of the little rocking chair, that kid-sized rocking chair. They bump their head. Lesson learned. So, not a fear, but a lesson. But big thing to understand is you don't inherit. Some people think you inherit fears. You don't. You don't. We don't. We are not victims to our DNA. It's absolutely everything is learned, and learned fears shape and influence our decisions throughout our entire life. They limit our risks and opportunities. Many times they'll even take the willingness away to try something new, and that's just scary. It's very powerful. And what's even more scary is they sometimes will build lifelong imaginary walls, stopping us from reaching our full potential. And it's no lie. I mean, I wrote these books. I started writing them about 10, 12 years ago, and I uncovered a lot of stuff that I didn't realize, the power of limiting beliefs and how it affected me in my careers. But what is learned can also be unlearned.
Right.
So, these walls can be torn down, and you don't need a therapist to do that. But awareness is the first step to freedom. You need to understand that these aren't forever. What's built can be taken down.
That's correct. That's correct. That's correct. Okay, we're getting a little more people in here now. So,
Super.
Okay. So, another question I wanted to ask you, Smiley. Man, you lay back in that chair. Good. Is that a stoplight behind you?
Absolutely. It's my brand. Life Stoplights. Red, yellow, green. Now that all the books are available on Amazon as of this week.
All the books are available on Amazon, you guys. All the books are available on Amazon. And you can also check out Smiley if you look across the bottom on some of his social media platforms right there, going across the bottom. Yep, definitely. And you want to email him, Smiley McGinnis, right there too. And I want to come to you with another question, Smiley, if that's okay.
Okay.
How does the story of the diving board illustrate the power of fear?
Oh boy, that question just took me back to 7 years old at swimming lessons. And that 12-foot high dive seemed like it was 60 feet up. Standing on that high dive for the first time, my little knees knocking, my stomach is in a knot. I feel nauseous. And of course, fear took over and painted the worst case scenario that could ever happen. And you picture it in your mind. I can see myself falling off the side, hitting my head on the edge of the pool and dying right there in front of everybody. We're always afraid of failure, judgment, or embarrassment. That would have been it. But what I realized is the danger wasn't real. Only the fear was perceived and imagined. Because the important thing is when I did finally make the jump, fear lost its grip on me and I enjoyed it. And it's a good lesson on action weakens fear every time. So if you're afraid of something, take bold action. You'll stop it. But interesting, because after I, went through swimming lessons and I was up in Canada, the Boundary Waters, and you can't, because there's bears and everything else up there. So you can't use deodorant, toothpaste, soap. So our baths every night, we'd find a location, we'd portage to wherever, and we'd always find a lake with cliffs to jump off. And so my fear was gone because we inched them up or went by the foot. And I think by the time we were done, we were jumping cliffs that are in excess of 40 feet high. We'd always check what's underneath the water to make sure we're safe. But man, some of these things were high and they didn't feel good. You had to definitely protect things and learn to go in with your feet first. So, and then ultimately, jumping out of a perfectly good airplane too. So, but I will admit that I did scream for the first mile, I think.
Wow. So what you're telling me, what you scared of, you supposed to go for it? What
Absolutely.
you afraid of?
And you know, they're learned, and so they can be unlearned. That's the thing.
Wow. Okay. All right. So got another question for you. Okay, so you're right. Fears are learned and not inherited, right?
Yes.
Why is this distinction powerful? Why is this distinction powerful?
Because a lot of people live in fear. They don't admit it, but if they actually sit down and do some mindfulness exercises or meditation or prayer, whatever your case, again, fear is learned, and we build up these imaginary walls to protect ourselves. It's a natural psychological thing that we do, but it can also be unlearned by identifying them. And that means we're not prisoners of fear. We are not victims of our DNA. It doesn't, like I mentioned earlier, we have control over our future. Courage is not born, it's built. Every step of faith rewrites our story. So if you retrain your mind, you'll be more courageous and be able to identify these fears and move them out of your way.
Okay. Okay. See if we have any questions. I'm looking. Okay. What's up, Gossip Talk? Here, Danae, Marie, Lindsay Miller, Lord Padilla, CC Marie, Cody Ireland, Alanis Ribeiro. I'm sorry about that. And Tip That Boss. All right. Oh, hey, you want a little music in here, man? Do you like music?
Yeah, a little background music.
I'm gonna have you see which one you want.
Why don't we take a poll? What do our followers think?
Man, you the boss. Now you the boss, man. Tell me what you like. What you trying to groove to? You like this? Let me go to another. You hear that?
Yeah.
You don't like that, do you?
No, I actually do. It's more fitting for.
Okay. As far as the sound, how does the sound on your end?
Good. Yeah, that's better.
Okay, is that good? Okay. We're gonna go right there. Yeah, okay, good. Because I know you sing in the choir, right?
I actually sing in a barbershop chorus and quartets. Yeah, okay. So it's
so you know something about rhythm, don't you?
Oh, well, I don't know if I'd say that. My group is I'm by far the youngest in the barbershop chorus.
Wow.
The average age is 70, and I'm not anywhere near that.
No, definitely not. So the average age is 70. What's the oldest?
He just turned 92.
Wow.
But he's got a voice that you're like, where did that come from? He does when we do our Christmas show coming up here in early December, he always sings the second verse to Silent Night. And I tell you what, it'll give you goosebumps.
Wow.
It's incredible. It's just got this little tiny Asian guy from Omaha, Nebraska, and he can crank it. He's got some lungs. An interesting little fact, singing helps with longevity in life because it keeps you happier. It releases melatonin or all the different chemicals of the brain to keep you going and fired up and active, and your mental acuity is good. Most of these guys, they have over 175, 180 songs they know. All you have to do is give them the first word and they know the song. So it's interesting. So
I got another question for you, okay?
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
What advice do you give someone who wants to face their fears, but they feel paralyzed? I'm gonna turn the music off for this one.
All right. Well, the best advice I can give you, start small and then identify or name that fear. And then take that fear, break it down into little pieces, and then rank it 1 through 10. Which one is the worst? You can either do 1 or 10, however you want to set up your scale, but break down into pieces. And what I call chunk it down okay. To size. And then take tiny steps of courage each time to overcome that, whatever piece of fear you're looking at.
Okay.
And remember, progress is much better than paralysis. You can
Okay.
sit there in fear and not admit it, but if internally you can work on it, it doesn't have to be a big deal. You don't have to tell people, but every small victory builds the momentum and you start gaining. And pretty soon fear fades when faith grows. A great example of this, a lot of older people or people that are coming near to the end of their life, they find their God. And so that faith increases, that fear dissipates. So that's a great example of how powerful faith can be over fear. And so, but again, starting small, don't try and take on an elephant. You eat an elephant one bite at a time, not the whole thing.
Wow. Yeah. So I can relate that with boxing a whole lot. I got a boxer in the studio with me today. Hey, would you agree on that? Like, you got to start small and then, yeah. So that's what makes your confidence the way it is.
Yeah, you gotta really.
Yeah. Start, just bite a little bit, like Smiley said. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I got a couple people in the studio with me today, Smiley.
That's awesome. I do not.
You solo dolo in there, huh?
I'm quiet.
That's right, Muhammad. You're capable of achieving great things. Stay driven and dedicated. Your hard work will pay out. Okay. Stay persistent in your efforts. Okay. I got another question for you.
Yeah.
What role does imagination play in feeding our fears?
Oh, huge. Our imagination is incredibly powerful. It doesn't matter who you are. Your imagination, I call it stinking thinking. You can get going really fast and all of a sudden compound something little into something, massive. It creates pictures in our mind, often imagining outcomes far worse than reality. It's so far out there. Fear hijacks that imagination, then it takes over to paint the worst case scenario. Case in point, on top of the high dive, my mind said, worst case scenario, you're going to hit that concrete and die up here in front of everybody. It creates dramatic negative assumptions. But imagination can also work for us. We can choose to picture success. And that's the biggest thing, is you need to find a way to picture success. Focus imagination on hope, not fear. Catch the negative thought, stop it immediately, replacing it with facts that yes, if I fall and I hit my head, yes, it's going to hurt. But the odds of me going off the railing and hitting it are slim and none on the high dive. And positive affirmations, talking to yourself, positive self-talk. Stinking thinking is negative self-talk. But once you start doing that, you start taking back control. And so you're not going to be paralyzed anymore of fear. You're going to understand it, excuse me, and understand how quickly you can just in an instant change it from, oops, I'm scared. I worked for Dale Carnegie International for a couple of years, and the number one fear is it's fear of public speaking, fear of failure, and believe it or not, number 3 was fear of success. People fear success because it's out of their comfort zone. And so we'll get down to that in one of the books. But it's pretty deep. It's pretty powerful stuff. The imagination is, and what we can do.
Wow. Yeah, that was good, man. So the red edition of your book, Life Stoplights Red Edition, that's available on Amazon, and you can go to any of Smiley's, whether YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and in the bio is a direct link to get that book, okay, on Amazon. And it's an easy reader, and I guarantee you it will change your life. I've read the book over 3 or 4 times now, and my friends have too. And man, and this is the man himself, Smiley McGinnis, and man, and we're going to be a New York Times bestseller author.
Absolutely.
And yeah, and that's how it is.
I'm trying to read the notes here.
Okay, so I'm gonna go to a question. I think that imagining gives you a sense of what you can do, but I think the fear provoking that you can do, but you have to have a strong mindset. Shy, that's shy. Did you see that one?
Yeah. Um, absolutely. You got to have a strong mindset one of these weeks, either today or down the road, we'll be getting more into um, that stuff there, talking about the mindset. And I think we might touch on it today. It depends on your questions you're going to throw at me, but
Mhm.
yeah, you got to have a strong mindset and positivity
Mhm.
and identify those fears, chunk them down and dissolve them. Just eat them up and be done. Eat them for breakfast and be done.
That's
So,
right.
and a lot of times when two people are afraid to do something, um, I'll give you an example. Freshman in high school, everyone had to take speech class, and something clicked because believe it or not, I was very, very shy in high school.
Mhm.
And when I was in speech class, if something just clicked in my head saying,
Mhm.
well, why sit here and wait? You're just going to sit there with angst and fear and anxiety and just get negative self-talk going because you're comparing yourself to everyone else like everyone does to this day. So I'd always go first. And so they would always say, does anybody else besides Smiley want to start? And then other people wouldn't want to go second because I found my niche in public speaking. I loved it.
Okay.
And I had a powerful, the simplest speeches were very powerful and profound, and people didn't want to follow me. So I set the bar high, and that's where we need to do it. You can deliver there, deliver there.
That's right. That's right. Hey, I just want to send a shout out to everybody that is on this live right now. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And Smiley appreciates it too. But Smiley will be on with me for the next 6 weeks, Friday night, every Friday night at 6 p.m. But I got another question for you. You ready?
Absolutely. Bring it on.
We're
I love
chilling.
these challenging questions.
What's the significance of the phrase to have no fear is to know no fear? Is to know fear.
Oh, I learned that from a Dr. Michael Huxford. Um, basically, you can't overcome what you don't understand. Real courage isn't absence of fear, it's knowing fear intimately and still choosing to act. So a lot of people are like, no fear, that big brand. Well, that's where he came up with, to have no fear is to know fear. And so if you know what your fears are, then you're going to have no fear. You're going to have courage. So you see how it works in your life, then you can stand against it. To have no fear is to not to deny it, but to master it. The deeper understanding of your fear, the more power you have. And so I love that quote. And I don't think he wanted me to put it in my book, but I did anyhow because it's powerful.
Yeah. So fear is the big subject tonight. Man, that fear really holds you back, doesn't it?
Well, it's an entire book, 93 pages worth.
Right. Yeah, this book's an easy read, guys. I'm telling you, this book is a really easy read, and you're gonna fall into it. You're gonna read it fast because it's so informative. It's just like a professor or someone with just a lot of knowledge, just giving you all this knowledge. So you're gonna love this book. I doubt if you put it down. Like I said, I doubt if you put it down. You definitely will finish this book. It's an easy read, and it's just really broke down. It's not 500 or 600 pages. How many pages is it, Smell? Like 93 or something?
Yep, 93
93
roughly.
pages. Yeah.
And then
So,
the interesting thing is when you buy the book and you look at it, there aren't any page numbers because I want you, the reader, to completely focus on what you're paying attention to. I don't want you looking ahead saying, oh, I got 40 more pages. I got 2 more pages. I got whatever to the end of the chapter, because I want you captivated and I want you focused on it. My mother read it recently again, and she said it's almost like a diary. And I've had people reach out and tell me it's a conversation with a friend. Because when they think about it, I respond in the next sentence or paragraph or whatever. So it was very difficult to write. It took me almost 7 years to kick it out. And I didn't make the rookie mistake of just 300 pages that nobody will ever read. Instead, I broke it up into three parts. And I actually got the name Life Stoplights coming out of Mass one day in Rapid City, South Dakota. I was coming out and I sit there and my family knows I really hate red lights because if nobody's there, a red light bulb is smarter than me. And that makes me mad. So,
Wow.
but I still have to respect it. But when I got looking at it, I said, life stoplights. There it is. It's what's stopping you. So
Yeah. We just had somebody hit in and they asked, was it a link to purchase the book? If you look at the scrolling across the bottom, you'll see all of Smiley's YouTube, TikTok, Instagram pages. If you just go into the bio, into any of those bios and just press the button, you can go right to the book. I made it real easy for you guys. You can go right to the book. So,
or you can go to amazon.com/author/Smiley McGinnis, and it'll pull up my author page and you can read a little bit about me. And you'll be able to identify by Monday or heck, by tomorrow, all 4 books will be live because I added a 4th one in there called 120 Seconds. And that's kind of a prequel. That's kind of the foundation of Life Stoplights. It talks about the fear I went through.
Yeah. Yep. So, this red edition, we're going to start off with that one. And like I said, you can get the whole complete. I mean, these are easy readers, so they're really good and they're so informative. But yeah, someone had tapped in, like Smiley said, you can do that. Or, I know you guys sometimes like the easy work. So just go to one of his pages. It's going across the bottom. Go right to the bio, press it. It's going to take you straight to the book. And
Charity Campbell, I love your comment in there. Stay motivated by envisioning your success. Absolutely. And celebrate every success, no matter how big or small it might be. That is great advice there. Thank you. On my computer, it's about a 0.5 point, so I really got to focus on it.
Okay, so I got another question for you. How do limiting beliefs intersect with fear?
Ooh, too hot subject for me. Limiting beliefs. I've learned so much about it. I spent $15 on a limiting belief book for research. The thing was like 7 pages long, and I paid $15 for it. I wasn't a happy camper. But anyhow, limiting beliefs are fear's foundation. Fear is based on limiting beliefs, and it's rooted in limiting beliefs. They sound like truth, but they're lies. Example, I'm not enough. I can't change. I can't lose weight. Nobody likes me. Nobody loves me. It's, nobody's out there for me. That's, that's catastrophizing your whatever. And that we cover that later, I think. Fear thrives on those lies. So beliefs fuel the fear and create emotional barriers. So those barriers are those invisible walls I talk about. And I talked about it in one of my posts this last week about those imaginary walls. But what is built can be taken down. And
that's
so,
right.
And then, breaking beliefs breaks fear. So if you have limiting beliefs and you break those, you're going to break the fear. It's going to cave. And identifying and challenging them is the key to growth. You got to identify it. You got to figure out what's stopping me. And I think you mentioned something about, I think you're coming up with a question on DIGS. My decide, identify, generate, sustain. Yeah. And that goes a little bit more talking about how to identify and challenge them. And that's your key to growth.
So what you're saying, like, if you into you and it's you versus you, you should know within yourself, what's not right. And you have questions about certain actions and certain things, and then you have to tend to those things, right? I mean, is that what you're trying to say?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well put. The Red Book, I will let you know, it will make you think. I had somebody reach out. Well, one gal reached out and said, because I put my email in there for people to reach out and let me share if they have questions or success stories, whatever. But she said it was a conversation. Like I said earlier, I have other people emailed me and said, you made me cry.
Wow.
And that was a follow-up couple coaching calls with her. And it turned out that her guilt was so bad and so deep that this book brought it out. And, I've got half dozen or 12 people that I know just love the coaching, and I'm not your life coach. I kind of hit it hard because you got to you got to stop those limiting beliefs and challenge
That's
them.
right.
It's the key to growth. So
That's right. And I just want to let you guys know that shoot, we will be Smiley will be open soon for life coaching and different stuff like that, and speakings, everything, and that's to come too, right, Smiley?
absolutely, if
Yeah, we
you need me to do some speaking, work with Keith, he'll get a book for me and take care of it.
yeah, we got you, man. We working together, and he's on the team now, so I appreciate him allowing me to be part of what he's doing. Thank you, man.
No, thank you. It's a partnership.
I got another question for you. Okay. How can someone use the Diggs method to overcome fear?
Oh, that's an excellent question. I figured that was coming. It's about that time in the chapter. I know these books pretty well for some reason, but
Man,
first of all,
like
DIGS.
you wrote them, right? It's like you wrote the book.
Yeah, yeah. Oof, yeah. And I keep rewriting and rewriting and rewriting in my mind all the time. So, but DIG stands for decide, identify, generate, and sustain. Basically, to address fear, you decide to address the fear. You want to make a change, and it has to be a big enough why to take on something like this. Identify the patterns holding you back. What's stopping you from accepting or moving that fear beyond? And then you got to generate new beliefs and habits and bold actions to replace that. So if you automatically do this when somebody scares you or you're afraid to do something, rethink it, saying, take a leap of faith. They call it for a reason. And then generate new beliefs and habits and bold actions to stay on top of it. Because sustained progress with faith and practice is going to work. I mean, practice mindfulness and positive affirmations. I don't know if people have watched The Secret. It talks about the law of attraction. It's an incredible free movie on YouTube. It's amazing. It really makes you think differently. It changes your paradigm. It's just amazing, the law of the universe. And many of you, I can say this, you're like, hey, I haven't heard from such and such in a while. In a day or so, they reach out to you. And you're like, whoa. So it's like, that was weird. I was just thinking about them. That's the law.
And I've heard that before. I was just thinking about you, or I was just,
yeah. And then, the way I look at it is it's kind of a play on words, but digs is a shovel that digs out fear. It finds fear. It takes that framework and moves it from fear to freedom. And just this week, I created a 50-week program, a 50-week digs challenge. And each week it gives a DIGS question on different things from the red, yellow, green books and even the 120 seconds. And I think I sent that over to you, Keith. To look at.
I actually have it right here.
It's a 50-week digs challenge. And I wish I could say I guarantee, but if you did it every week, you're going to be a different person from day one to week 50 or 52, amazing, whatever it takes you. But it's very powerful stuff. I write from the heart. I'm not, fluff. I write from the heart and say, here, this is what bothers me. I write from a lot of personal experience. So that book, 120 seconds, is very personal to me. And for me to open it up to the public and put it on Amazon, which it's available now, and it has red and blue lights in the front because of the accident that started all this.
Right.
The life behind life stoplights.
Man, it's kind of crazy, but I see it all the time. Sometimes bad things have to happen to make good things open up. So with you guys out there, sometimes if you think, things not going the way you think it should go, or it could be better, sometimes, things have to be moved out of the way. And sometimes to move certain things, sometimes you may think it's a situation that you don't prefer, but in the long term, you're going to see that it's going to all work out. That's why you got to just let life do what it does and run its course. I'm sure everybody can agree to this, that There's been times in your life you like, man, why did that happen? That was horrible. But if that wouldn't have happened, you know, the future wouldn't have been what it was. You know, maybe if this wouldn't have happened, you wouldn't have had these kids, or you wouldn't have moved where you were supposed to go, or you know. So you know, I know it's kind of bad. Sometimes bad things happen, but you know, it's always something good out of it. I'm telling you. You
Well,
know.
look at Oprah Winfrey. Look at her story.
Mm-hmm.
How rough she had it. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, terrible what she went through.
Mm-hmm.
Look what she did. Because my biggest question is how can some people do that while
Mm-hmm.
others don't? And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of it is fear of success or
That's
comfort.
right.
We
That's
weren't
right.
made for comfort. We were made for excellence. And
That's
so
right.
you got to push through. I mean, Nelson Mandela, all the speeches he wrote while he was in prison and what he did to transform and change things over there is just incredible.
That's right. That's
And it's
correct.
not just old people, it's high school kids. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty profound. And it's why are they much better than the others? And in the military, sometimes we call it survivor's guilt.
Mm-hmm.
I had guilt because when I got out of the Navy, I was supposed to be in a wheelchair the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
You see me limping around, but I still motivate. I
That's
get
right.
replaced, knees replaced. You see me out the same day, out there walking, trying to.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Because I know what it's like to be back there, and
Yeah.
it's different. So, but
That's
I'm
true.
like, why did I change? And you know, the interesting thing, I don't want to digress too much, but the reason I'm walking to this day is because of fear. I
Wow.
use fear as a leveraging point because I have 6 brothers at home, and it would have been brutal for me to come home in a wheelchair.
Wow.
So my fear of facing my family
Mm-hmm.
with in a wheelchair, man, I tell you, but this was in the 80s, and I made jokes of it. You know, I'd tell them I'm rolling with the Crips, you know,
Right.
you know, and so I had fun with it. Didn't go over very well in California, but oh well.
Uh,
So
yeah. Man, I'm not giving you a break tonight. Can I bring another question to you?
absolutely.
Okay, thank you. How did your Navy experience and accident deepen your understanding of these concepts?
The Navy accident.
Mhm.
Well, it really the accident forced me to face fear and head on. It triggered a lot of limiting beliefs, fear, and emotional shutdown. I was scared. I was out in San Diego. I was born and raised in South Dakota. You can't tell by my accent.
Uh-huh.
And it exposed a lot of distortions to me and that I believed about myself. And I had to confront the dissonance in my life because the experience taught me courage. It showed me strength that I didn't know I had. Um, Pain can be a great teacher, not a prison. I'm going to repeat that. Pain becomes a teacher, not a prison. So you learn from your pain. Just like little kids and they touch an oven, ouch, that's hot. I won't do that again.
Mhm.
It's a teacher. But through healing and a lot of self coaching,
Uh-huh.
I recognize the power of these psychological barriers. And I
Mhm.
think I did it on one of the videos I did this in the past week or two. I talked about how you can change things in a snap. But through healing and self coaching, I recognized the barriers, and then I went through forgiveness, self reflection, and then redirection with congruency, with essential to rebuilding not only my body but my
Mhm.
life, because my life
Right.
was the Navy. I did not want to leave the Navy. I was torn that I had to leave, and my philosophy back then was I always finish what I start, which
Uh-huh.
can become a limiting belief in itself.
Mhm.
So I got all kinds of quotes. You've seen my office. I've got them all over.
That's right.
So
What are cognitive distortions and how do they sabotage us?
okay. Well, there's distortions. There's cognitive dissonance and cognitive distortions. Distortions are those things where it's twisted thoughts, irrational, it's exaggerated, it's all or nothing. It's you got those people that the sky is always falling. They're the negative people. Those are twisted distortions that they have. They magnify flaws and minimize strengths. They make it say, okay, you're in a wheelchair, you're weak, you can't get out. They create false realities. Example, I always fail. No one likes me. There's another one. Again, distortions sabotage confidence and feed anxiety, depression, and fear. And last time we were on, somebody mentioned something about, you're desperate or you're very depressed. How do you handle it? Maybe let's start talking a little bit about, are there any distortions that are sabotaging you from doing it? But the good thing is distortions can be challenged because they're not based on fact. They're based on an imagination. So try this in the next 7 days. Believe in positivity and law of attraction. And if something negative comes to your mind, flip a switch and make it a positive. I tell people always start with a smile. And when I worked with the government for a little bit, I tell people when you go through, make sure you smile. It'll get you through security faster. And but the big thing is truth defeats distortion. If you're honest, the truth will just get the facts and it'll free you. Identifying and untwisting them restores clarity and self-trust, self-confidence. I think in the Red Edition, I have an entire chapter dedicated to self, because it just bugs me when people say they don't have discipline. No, they don't have self-discipline. Put self back in there.
Right.
Dissonance is the mental discomfort. And then there's distortions, which are the exaggerated thought process or patterns. So dissonance is the mental discomfort, but distortions are the exaggerations. It's all or nothing. And I'll have to get it to you, Keith. I've got a list of 50 of the top cognitive distortions and those things. And
get that to me. And I just want to give a shout out. We're streaming live on Twitch, and I understand you guys was asking about far as the YouTube, how to get on YouTube from Twitch. So okay, there it is across the bottom. You can go on either one of those YouTube channels at Keith or at Smiley's Life. It's going across the bottom, and that'll get you on the YouTube live. But Twitch should be coming through pretty good. We should be streaming pretty good on Twitch. But if you need to, just go on the right there, Keith or Smiley's Life. It's going across the bottom. Okay. All right, Smiley, how you feeling, man?
Good. This is good stuff. It really tests the old gray matter. I wrote it a while ago, but I reread it probably once every quarter, and I'm like, man, this is some good stuff. It's surreal.
I've been throwing these questions at you, and I know you put a lot of time. How long did you say it took you to write the Red Edition?
Well, it started off, it was about 7 years, because I read over 300 books, did several thousand interviews. And then when I was doing it, I did my research on how to write a book. And most people will take everything they learn and then just put it in a book. It's about that thick and nobody will ever read it. Right. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to help other people uncover limiting beliefs and distortions and dissonances and all that and make them better. And so from day one, I wanted to make it, worth a damn. And I visualized somebody picking a book up in Minneapolis. And by the time they land in Denver, they're ready to read the second book. I wanted them quick reads because you feel successful. The chapters are short, succinct, no page numbers. So you're focused on what you're reading. So there's a lot of psychology behind the book, but it took a long time because I was going through my whole mind. Why am I walking and others aren't? Why am I so successful at this and other people aren't? And so a lot of self-negative talk that I had to get over as well. So it affects the best of us.
Okay. I'm gonna throw some more questions at you, okay? Why is congruency essential to living as your highest self?
Living in congruency. Well, the best way to put it is congruency is alignment.
Okay.
Your words match your actions. Your values match your life, what you're doing. Without congruency, there's conflict. With congruency, there's peace and integrity. And congruency is freedom. You feel so much better when your life is congruent. Because then you got the other one where cognitive dissonance, where your values aren't in line with what you're doing or whatever. But it takes energy to live in misalignment. If you're not aligned, it takes a lot of energy away, where that energy you could be using to fuel your dreams instead. So start with being honest with yourself and make sure your words are matching your actions. So that's the biggest thing. People will talk a good talk, but they don't practice it. Don't have time for them.
Right. You want to read the last comment?
Much needed information and energy. Thank you. Is that the one you're looking at?
Yeah, and the one over it.
So it's pretty small for me.
Okay, I got you. Huge inspiration. Thank you for your service and thank you for sharing your mindset. We need this. Keith, you're a beast. Two great minds giving the world.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Chin Chang. Okay. Got another question for you. What does it mean to release thoughts that have been subconsciously weighing you down? Those thoughts. Oh my God. Yeah. Tell me something on that.
Well, releasing thoughts is releasing means letting go of lies. If you're telling yourself a lie, you're telling other people white lies or lies, just be honest and let it go. Because it really is taxing on the brain to keep that, because you got to keep remembering those lies. It's identifying the thought holding you back, consciously acknowledging a limiting belief, memory or fear, then choosing to replace it with truth. That's releasing. You replace it with truth. It's not denial, it's freedom. So you're not denying it, you're allowing yourself to be free. Release clears the mind and the heart. Like we talked the other Friday night before last, last Friday, we talked a little bit about, your mind and your heart. When you don't have stressors, it's a lot easier in life. But it makes room for purpose. Then you find your purpose and your passion. You're not suppressing, but you're understanding it. You basically acknowledge it. You say, thank you for the lesson, but I'm deciding I don't need your efforts no longer serve my better interests. So it's good to acknowledge it and say, okay, thank you for the lesson. Now I'm going to be free and release you.
Okay.
That makes sense. It's pretty deep, but these are some good questions.
Do you need to take a break or anything? Or are you good? You okay?
No, I'm good.
You good? Okay. Okay. All right. I'm gonna turn on a little music. Yeah, you guys. Like I said before, I'm gonna put in Smiley's social media links, and so you guys can go in and go follow him on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Like I said, you guys can go right in the bio and just press the link. It's gonna take you straight to this Amazon page where his books are available. So yeah. Well, make sure you give Smiley a follow on all social media platforms. And like I said, every Friday night he's going to be here. Every Friday night, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, Arizona time. We appreciate you, and I'm hitting with a few more questions, if that's all right with you, Smiley.
Absolutely.
Okay. What final message would you give to someone stuck in fear and dishonest?
Oh, well, probably fear is real, but it's not final. You are not your fear. Dissonance does not have to define you. You are not your past. What's back there? I always use the rear view when I speak to groups. I'll talk about the windshield and the rear view mirror. They're absolutely different sized. The rear view mirror, you're looking back in the past because you're not your past. You're already past that. There's nothing you can do. But you can face fear, challenge lies, and choose truth. Begin now, this very moment, to take honest actions towards alignment. There's a lot of psychology talk tonight. I apologize. These are great questions, and it's just chapter 3 and 4, I think, in the book. But just take one small step today. You don't have to wait till tomorrow. You don't have to wait till Monday. It's a holiday anyhow, so start today. And to take honest action towards that alignment, and you will be thankful if you just learn to release. It doesn't have to be big, but it must be yours. Don't let anybody else tell you what to do. You know inside yourself. You don't have to. The nice thing about it is I call it a journal now. I used to call it a workbook with the red book and everything else, but now I've changed it to a journal because it's more private. So you can be honest and make sure that it's just between you and whomever you want them to read. Your why is stronger than your fear. And in the second book, What's Your Why? We talk about, why do you do what you do? And once you know your why, there isn't anything out there that'll stop you. That's why I talk to people and I say, no more limits. You limit yourself on everything. But courage is waiting inside of you. You just need to tap it. Everyone has it, believe it or not, except the one guy on the lion or whatever on Wizard of Oz. But but own your story. Rewrite the ending that you envision. Someone talked about envisioning. Right there it is. Rewrite the ending you envision. I think in one of my books, I talk about the dash. You go to somebody's, you go out to the cemetery and you see 1906 to 1996, and there's a dash. That dash is all that is there to represent your life. So is that how you want to be remembered, with just a little dash? Or are you going to make it impactful that people remember you 7 generations after you're gone? And, again, I understand how tough life can get. I understand that the struggle might seem endless. I understand that change doesn't necessarily happen in an instant, but your attitude can make a change, 180-degree change in an instant. And so the nice thing is you can stop, you can quit anything in an instant, no matter what it is. If you have a big enough why, a lot of people quit smoking if they get lung cancer. Some won't. Some will keep smoking with oxygen, which isn't safe. But if you have a big enough why you want to live or whatever, there isn't anything powerful enough to stop you from doing whatever. I'll give you an example. Because some people, your challenge might be smoking tobacco. It might be drugs. It might be alcohol. It might be maladaptive behaviors. At one point, I think I was a guinea pig for the VA to see how many pain pills they can give you before you pass out or whatever. And the doctor retired. And one day I took it as prescribed, and I don't think I made it through my midday medication. And I'm talking morphine, Oxycontin, and oxycodone all at the same time. And I took it, and in my mind, I was like, this is not who I am. I absolutely refuse to be like this. This isn't who I am. And so I quit. I quit everything, cold turkey. And then I went in and met with the pharmacist. And she said, well, we're going to taper this off. And I said, you don't need to. I quit. She goes, you can't. You're going to die. Well, I'll die if I take it. I'll die if I don't. Well, I didn't. I'm still here today because I had a big enough why to live and a big enough why to do that. And so that's pretty personal. I talked about it, and then they got rid of a bunch of them and then just kept me on morphine 3 or 4 times a day. And even then I said, you know what? Because transferred to a different VA, and my doctor said, yeah, you could die from that morphine. And so I never filled the prescription. And when I came back 3 months later for the follow-up, he said, you didn't fill your prescription. I said, no, you said I could die. And he said, well, you got to taper off of it. Did you have some at home already? I said, no, I just quit cold turkey. He said, you could have died. I said, you told me I could have died if I took it. So I quit. You didn't tell me I could die, but that's what I mean. It's an instant. And those, I don't have the, the tendencies to have addictions because I always want to have a clear mind. If I find something I'm addicted to, I try and break the mold and take time off, give myself a break or whatever from stuff. But you can change stuff in just an instant. That's a real life experience. And Tony Robbins talks about a guy that he had had a hard time quitting smoking. And by the time he got out of the hotel room, that guy didn't want to touch another cigarette a day in his life. So he made him just smoke pack after pack after pack until he finally got sick. And he never touched a cigarette again. So you can make a change just like that. But also realize that to develop a new habit, behavior, or belief, it takes a minimum of 21 days. So you need to have the self-discipline to stick to it, stick to your guns, and have a countdown calendar. Some will go faster, some will go slower, but average-wise is 21 days for something new to happen. The critical point is to be persistent. You have to be persistent, have self-control, and use your willpower. Again, the willpower will come with your why. If you know why you want to quit or do something different, if it's a strong enough why and is defined, nothing's going to stop you. But our subconscious minds control 95% of our lives. So how many of you think about breathing? None of us. It just happens. How many of us tell our heart, keep beating? None of us. It keeps happening. All that stuff is happening behind the scenes, and our minds are doing the same thing. They're constantly developing. They'll fill in blanks. They'll make it, it was a catastrophe when in reality, it just rained at the ball game, but it wasn't the worst day ever, but your brain will take over and do this stuff. But my question to the family, friends, and followers, what's feeding your subconscious mind? You got to decide what you're feeding that and go from there. Because if you're feeding it negativity, fear, anxiety, you're just going to get more of the same. If you think of positive thoughts, you're going to get more of the same. Again, The Secret on YouTube, it's a great movie, a great show. It talks, Jack Canfield's in there, a lot of people in there, and they talk about the law of attraction. I can't speak enough about it because everything happens for a reason. So God might close one door, but he's going to open another. And you just got to keep your eyes and heart open. I can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Sometimes your thoughts come true, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So what you think is usually what your life's going to be about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, any questions from the followers out there? Any good and tough questions?
I think everybody's kind of quiet a little bit, but
yeah.
Man, I'm hoping. Last time we had our live, we had a little more questions, but we're giving them different outlets to go to, and you can always DM on Instagram. You can leave a message. Okay, we got a question. How long did it take you to write your first book? I think he said 7 years.
Well, 7 years, but let me back it up. I started writing it, and my mind I didn't think it through all the way. And so then I stopped writing Life Stoplights Red Edition, and I went back and I wrote 120 seconds. And I had to come to senses about why I needed the change and why limiting beliefs and everything else had such a stranglehold on me from that accident. And I had to come to terms with that. And through a lot of positive affirmations, a lot of why, I would ask myself, why, like a little young child, they'll say, why, because I said so. Why? They keep asking why. But as you get older, you quit asking why. And so I started asking myself, why? And it took me over 18 months to find my why. And I'm no dummy, but it's just sometimes I'm dense. And so once I found my why and my passion, words started to flow. And then I started writing, from all the interviews and all the books I've read. I tried to condense great big, thick, boring scientific books down to one good nugget or one good sentence. But I tried to incorporate 300 books into one, and ended up being, 3 books and another 300 or 400 books to read. But it, all in all, I would say 7 years. But, then again, when I found the right file recently, I found my files when I had the green and the yellow editions, because I'd cut and pull off to different, I'm going to do this in this book, this in this book. Working titles weren't there yet. And then I moved the stuff around. So it took a lot of orchestrating, but to write a book, it's not as difficult as you think. First thing you need to understand is there's a difference between author and writer. An author will come up with the idea, and a writer puts it in words and grammatical form and whatever. So if you have an idea, just start writing down bits and pieces. I talked to somebody the other day because they were talking about all the different trips her and her late husband took. And I said, have you ever thought about writing that down for your kids and grandkids and great grandkids? Because how many cruises has he been on? 25. But my neighbor went on 26. So wow. Funny, but I mean, she did 25. I mean, all the different countries they went to together was just interesting. And she lit up and talked about it. And I said, write it. There's a lot of people that'll help you write. If you have questions, shoot me an email. It's actually Smiley McGinnis at Gmail. There's no number 2 there. So,
that's just my personal one as management.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I got you.
Be nice. But it's don't let the years that it took me. It might take you 2 weeks. If you have a big enough why and you're comfortable with what you're doing and writing about, go for it. I encourage people to write. In fact, I don't know if my daughter's watching somewhere tonight or not, but she needs to write a book on some of her stuff that she understands and tries.
Man, she got that talent too, huh?
Oh, yeah, she proofed it. Yeah. She did the collegiate proof.
Wow.
not the Word document proof that says, oh, everything looks good. Then she went through it.
Yeah, well, Smiley, I appreciate you coming on tonight, Friday night, and I'm gonna see you next week too, huh? I'm gonna have a whole nother list of questions. I can't get you though, man. You spend too much. You put too much heart in these books, man. Every time I ask you a question, you're going right to it. Boom, 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 boom. So I look forward to next week. And you guys, if you look at that bottom, that's his channels, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Make sure you go follow him. He posts every day. He posts every day on those channels. And this video will actually be on his channel too. So make sure you guys go show Smiley some love. And if you guys know somebody that needs some help and is battling with, trying to get to that next level, make sure you go purchase the book. And we're going to see you guys next week. And thank you for coming. Right, Smiley?
Yeah.
Thank you, people.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Thank you guys so much. I'll talk to you later, Smiley.
You bet. Take care.
All right. Thank you, buddy. All right. What's up, you guys? Hey, thank you for another show. I'm not done yet, but I am going to take a break on this live. I'm going to stay on Twitch.